I am Aligar Lingappa, Assistant Professor in Physics, Government Postgate College, Siriguppa. Today's my chapter is sound. So now I will discuss about expression for velocity of transverse waves along a stretched string. Just see the diagram. So the diagram which indicates that are transverse waves. Waves. During the propagation of transverse waves along a stretched string, which form series of crests and troughs, the maximum displacement of the particle from its mean position is known as a crest positive displacement. The maximum negative displacement of the particle from its mean position or equilibrium position is known as trough. Such that which forms in the propagates in the form of sinusoidal wave. The transverse waves along a stretched string are nothing but simple harmonic waves. Then let us consider a part of that transverse wave, where a PQ that indicates, say, a crest. It is the part of transverse wave. So then, let AB be the arc of that portion, arc of the transverse wave. Then draw the tangent at a point A and B, at the points A and B. Then the tangents they will meet at a point C. Then draw the horizontal line at point C, where the horizontal line which makes an angle theta with both the tangents may be CA or CB. Then again draw the line from point A and B, both they will meet at a point O, where O is the center of curvature or center of the imaginary circle which is drawn with respect to AB, where OA and OB they are called radius vector or so called a radius of curvature. Then the tension acting at a point B, so tangential to the curve, and also the tension acting at a point A, tangential to the curve. So where what about the tension which acting at a point C? So just see the point C. Then according to resolution of a vector, the tension which can be resolved into two components. One is along the horizontal axis, another one is along vertical axis. So tension along CB which is resolved into two components. So T cos theta along the horizontal axis and T sin theta along CO, vertical axis. Similarly, tension along CA which is resolved into two components. T cos theta which is acting along negative x-axis along the horizontal axis, and T sin theta which is acting along CO. So the tension at a point B acting along T cos theta, the component T cos theta acting along positive x-axis. Then similarly tension at a point A, its a component T cos theta acting along negative x-axis, where T cos theta due to A and T cos theta due to B, they are acting along the same straight line but opposite in direction, so that they get cancel each other. the resultant effect along the horizontal direction must be equal to 0. So now we see the vertical components t sin theta and t sin theta. So t sin theta due to tension at A, again t sin theta due to tension at B, where t sin theta due to A, t sin theta due to B, both they are acting along the same straight line, that means vertically downwards along CO. Then the net effect along CO must be equal to t sin theta plus t sin theta, which is equal to 2t sin theta. So this is what about the diagram for transverse waves along a stretched string. Let us consider a long uniform and a flexible string is stretched between 2 points and plucked at its middle. Then the transverse vibrations are set up along the spring. So then again let us consider a part of it. So APQ is the part of the transverse wave, where AB is the arc, that means it is a part of the imaginary circle. Then they draw the tangent at point A, say CA, draw the tangent at point B, so CB, both they will meet at a point C. Then a tension acting along the tangent CA is resolved into 2 components, one is along the horizontal axis and one is along vertical axis. So similarly, the tension at a point B, that means acting along CB, is resolved into 2 components. One is along horizontal axis and one is along vertical axis. The components acting along horizontal axis, they are in the same straight line but opposite in directions. They can cancel each other. Then the net effect is due to only the components which are acting vertically downwards, that means along CO. Consider, let AB be the arc of wave of a circle. So consider a part of the wave PQ. Imagine that the wave travels along positive x-axis with the velocity v. Let AB be the arc of the wave of a circle whose center O. As the wave is moving along the arc, the centripetal force acts along the radius towards the center. What we know that if any object, if it moves in the circular path or maybe curved path, where the object which must experiences the centripetal force. So that means the centripetal force is a real force. Whatever the centripetal force which experienced in this case was provided by the tension produced in the string. Let T be the tension acts throughout the string. Resolving the tension T at A and B are shown in the figure. The component T cos theta with respect to the point A and the T cos theta with respect to the point B are equal in magnitude but opposite in directions, and acts the opposite in directions, acts along the same straight line, and hence they cancel each other. Whereas the component T sin theta with respect to the point A and T sin theta with respect to the point B act along the same straight line towards O. Then the resultant component along CO, which is equal to 2t sin theta. If theta is very small, then sin theta is approximately equal to theta. Then the above equation becomes CO is equal to 2t theta. Let this is equation number 1. Now from the arc, AB is equal to R into 2 theta. So then let M be the mass per unit length of the string, so called linear density. Therefore mass of the arc AB is equal to M or 2 theta, which is equal to 2 M or theta. Then the centripetal force acting along OC, which is equal to mass into V square by R, 2 M R theta into V square by R. Then a centripetal force acting along OC, which is equal to 2 M V square theta. Let this is equation number 2. So then comparing equations 1 and 2, 2 M square 2 theta, which is equal to 2 T theta, then v square is equal to t by m, then v is equal to root of t by m. Let this is equation number 3. So expression for the frequency of vibration of stretched string. Consider a string of length L vibrating with n number of segments or loops. So now we see a string where which vibrating, so called due to superposition of two waves, where which form series of nodes and antinodes. That means the system which consists of the number of segments or loops. The length of each loop must be equal to wavelength. The point of maximum displacement in the stationary waves is known as an antinode. The point of minimum displacement in the stationary waves is known as a node, as shown in the diagram. So then length of the each loop L by n, where L is the total length of the system. Then the length where the system which consists of n number of loops. Then the length of each loop which is equal to L by n, say that this is equation number 1. Then the length of each loop which is equal to lambda by 2. So distance between two successive nodes or antinodes must be equal to lambda by 2. That means half of the wavelength. The length of one segment, one loop, the length of two segments must be equal to wavelength of the wave. Then comparing above two equations, say 1 and 2, then we will get lambda is equal to 2L by n. Let this is equation number 3. We know that the relation between velocity, frequency and wavelength. So V is equal to F lambda, where lambda which can be replaced by the equation 3. So lambda is equal to 2L by n. Then we will get V is equal to F into 2L by n. Let this is equation number 4. Then they consider equation V is equal to root of T by m. Let this is equation number 5. Comparing equations. So look here, 4 and 5. Comparing equations 4 and 5. Then we will get F is equal to F 2L by n, which is equal to root of T by m. Then F is equal to n by 2L into root of T by m. So that means the expression for fundamental frequency. So in this class we discussed about something about transverse waves along a stretched string, and then velocity of the transverse waves along a stretched string, the expression for velocity, and the frequency F is equal to n by 2L into root of T by m, where n that indicates the number of segments or loops, and so on. Thank you.